we go. That's on the glide. Big boil on the glide. That's cool. It's not going to take long to get fish on these, I don't reckon. Especially in those right... Oh, big boil again. Big boil. Yep. Oh, big fish. Oh, he's got me. Yep, there we go.
Hey guys, Mitch here from EJ Todd. And today, I'm here to talk to you about the new 90mm Molix Glide baits. Just like the other glide baits from Molix, the 178 and the 130, this little Molix Glide bait is a 90mm lure that's slow sinking and is designed for catching a wide variety of species such as bass, estuary perch, flathead, jewfish, bream in the salt, and in the freshwater, yellow belly, redfin, trout, even small clearwater Murray cod. These things will dominate them. As I've mentioned before, what makes this unique is its small, compact size, coming in at 90mm and coming in at 12.5 grams. This little lure here is perfect for long, accurate casts. Now what makes these unique is that you can cast them on both light to medium spin outfits and sort of light to medium bait cast outfits too. Coming in at that 12.5 gram, it makes it relatively easy, you know, especially on even like your light trout rods. You can still cast this and work that lure perfectly without it being, you know, too heavy for a light tip sort of rod. So I have personally used both spin and overhead. The other day I was out on the perch throwing it around on a Dobbins Fury, a 661, and that's in the spin version, and I love that for the kayak fishing because it is a nice short sort of compact rod, allowing for easy back casts and undercasts and getting, like, because you are lower to the water, getting it in deep underneath the snags. But that 661 is a perfect little bait for this, where it's got enough balls in that butt section of the rod where if you do chasing big bass or perch deep in timber, you can lean back on it and pull them out with sort of relatively ease. But it's still got that nice little sort of tip where you can sort of work these lures. If you just want to give them that little jab and sort of finesse fish these, you can do that quite easily. Braid wise on that particular outfit, I'm using 12-pound Assegai or X Plasma. Bright green, high vis. Again, the conditions that I was using the other day, that high vis, like it was overcast, dirty, real windy, so you couldn't really have direct contact with the lure. It was making it hard because you're up and down in a kayak. So that high vis, I could see that line, and I was still working that and sort of moving around, and on the pause a lot of the time I'd get that sort of that sharp take and I'd see it. So that worked really well. And leader wise, again for that spin outfit, normally that sort of 10 to 12 pound FC rock. Love that, super abrasive around the mangrove roots and that sort of thing. And on one of the other clips that I'll sort of roll a little bit later as well, you'll see that as I'm winding back, I'll hook up and it goes slack, and that's because the fish is coming towards me and it wraps around the mangrove, and then I'm sort of just pulling it out and just like unwrap it. Like 6 and 8 pound stuff, that would have just gone like that. So like that little bit heavier line seems to work really well, especially throwing these, you know, these bigger baits in the thick stuff. You sort of want to make sure you stay connected. And bait cast wise, I've been using the Dobbins Sierra, the 650, which is a 6'5", ultra light finesse rod, and that's been awesome as well. Casting these little things, and you can really get them in there like with that nice soft tip. Again, if you are working those lures quite slow, or you can sort of give them that twitch and that little punch, and she kicks out and they swim, yeah, pretty awesome when you give them that twitch and that lure. Braid wise on that, 16-pound castaway. Sounds probably a little bit heavy for that rod, but again, I'm fishing pretty gnarly structure, so if I do hook up, I want to be able to pull it out. And castaway on the bait cast, you can't beat it. And then the leader for that, I sort of up the leader on the bait cast to that sort of 12 to 16 pound, and I've been using System Shock FC, which is a fluorocarbon that's actually got stretch like mono. So again, for bigger fish, been using it on the cod a lot lately. Went up north and used it on the barra. And then even on heavier stuff on 80 pound and stuff on the kingfish, it's got the attributes of fluorocarbon, so it's invisible in the water, but it also has stretch like mono. So a lot of those bigger fish, when they do clunk a big bait like this, they hit them with like gusto. So you get that little bit of stretch factor, so it sort of absorbs the bite and sort of gets those hooks in, and you won't be ripping hooks out. And yeah, that's probably my go-to leader at the moment when starting to fish that slightly heavier sort of 12, 16 pound and upwards. And then on the barra and the cod, I don't think there's a better leader out there. As it's a slow sinking glide bait, this thing can be worked and used a number of ways in a variety of situations. It's a slow sink, and on the sink it sort of shimmies down, and then when you give it those couple of little twitches or like a slow roll, with that realistic S-glide movement, it creates a wide natural swim pattern with twitch responsiveness. Equipped with 3D eyes and lifelike soft fins, this gives this lure the ultimate realistic approach. As I touched on before, with the slow sink, it can be fished a number of ways and in a variety of depths. If you wanted to fish sort of a little bit deeper, you can cast that lure out and let that sink, and that'll shimmy down to whatever depth you sort of want to get to. If there's weed or rock or snags, you can get it in the strike zone and it's not going to sink down and plummet straight down there and snag up and foul up. Or if you're fishing shallow flats or mangroves or very high timber and trees, you can cast it out. And with the retrieve, you can either slow roll it back, like I mentioned before. It'll have that S-shaped sort of movement as it's gliding through the water. You can give it a few twitches and a few pauses, and it'll sort of kick out and look very wounded and injured. And then you can pause it again and shimmer it down. But there's a number of ways that you can work these lures, and that is why they are becoming one of my go-to lures now, especially in the estuary box, for bass, perch, and flathead. We selected 8 awesome colors for our Australian species: crazy white, whiting, live carp, orange flash, pink holographic, matte blue wakasagi, flying chartreuse, and my favorite, silver darkback. So if you want to see a little bit more of these in action, check out the footage I'm going to play after this bit. But yeah, it's the last couple of trips I've been out just chasing perch in the saltwater. So there's a lot of current, a lot of flow, a lot of tidal movement. Battling the elements that sort of Melbourne's thrown to us lately with wind, rain, swell. You'll see in one of the clips where I'm catching had a pretty good session out there. I was battling for quite a bit of swell and wind, so it wasn't pretty being out there, but still these things dominated and caught a heap of fish when the other sort of stuff wasn't. So if these are a lure that you can see yourself throwing in the future, make sure you get into your local tackle shop, ask them about the Molix Glide 90, check out the awesome color range. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. And I'm going to roll some of that footage now, and yeah, hope you enjoy. Cheers. Molix Glide bait, 90mm. This is going to be a killer on bass, perch, brim, dew, flathead. The list goes on. That's cool. It's not going to take long to get fish on these, I don't reckon. Especially in those big boil again, big boil. Yep. Oh, big fish. Oh, he's got me. Yeah, there we go. Oh, he boiled up on it. How good's that? On the little glide. I've snuck up the little side back creek. Oh. I saw he just crunched that glide bait. How sick's that? That is the perfect bite size. Molix Glide, 90mm. Well, that didn't take long. Get one on the Molix 90. All I'm doing is just casting on the edges of the mangroves, giving that lure you know, like half a turn, like a couple of quick half turns, get that lure left to right and then pausing, and it's coming back in on itself. And then with this current or this flow, it's also then like drifting back pretty natural. All right, these things are gonna dominate the perch and bass for sure. Just wasn't expecting it. That was a good hit. Let's see if we can get another one. That was sick. Yep, oh yeah, got him. There we go. Oh, he's a good fish too. How sick is that? He come out and crunched the little Molix. Head first, I think. Didn't bring a net. Yeah. Is that?